has a computer lab
There
that
we
is available.
go.
It's open to the public.
Look at the wonderful lady from
You're free to
Lincoln.
go down there, get involved.
And John
We have the
Fernandez,
contact
my friend
information down at my
Chavez
organization.
running.
So
All
there's
here
really
at
no
Lincoln
excuse for
Park
nobody
to
to not
say
get involved, at least
public
through an email,
education and
through a
adult
letter,
education.
or something, just to let
Hey,
them know
guys,
that
talk
we're
about
watching,
something.
you know, and that we want them to pay attention
Recall
to this issue.
Monica Garcia.
So with that, thank you guys.
Save our schools.
All right,
We're
John.
recalling her. Our schools are dead. Like this young lady said, our schools are dead. If Monica says
Society of Homeboys
She wants to take out a precious
organization,
girl in our
and
community.
now
Wants to kill
we're gonna have
Wilson
music
Lincoln
and we
Adult
have the nachos in the
School.
back,
Don't let her kill our
and
school.
we have more
All right.
speakers later.
Hey, John.
que
Más
Mónica
música y más
García
shows.
es a chicana
So disfruten.
falsa. Mónica Garcia is a hypocrite. She says that she supports una reforma migratoria, immigration reform, but she has never marched with us. We've had about 13 marches, and she's never marched with us.
okay. Don't be scared of that sign, man. If you don't want it, I'll hold it for you.
Hey, can we come back a little bit closer now? Come on. Come on. Let's have a seat here. Get warm. Come on closer. Come on, you guys over here. Come on a little closer. I know we have a mic, but we should be a little closer. Come on. Thank you. My name is Arturo Chavez. I currently work for Assemblymember Gil Cedillo, but I'm actually running for the Assembly. But more importantly, this is an issue that is so important to our communities. Adult education is correct. The young man that was saying that we need to save it, no, we need to restore it. Because the school board has put a budget of 0 to adult education. 0. You cannot work with zeros unless you have a number in front of it. You need to have the funding in order to have adult education. And adult education, as you know, is one of the most important things that we can have in education. And I'll give you an example. Not everyone that goes to high school experience High School Musical. Okay? It wasn't singing, it wasn't cheerleading, it wasn't any of that stuff. Okay? There wasn't those guys that are 25 and look like they were going to high school. That wasn't happening. It didn't happen for a lot of us. And high school then, for example, my brother, I went to Wilson High School. My brother went to Wilson High School. I know I'm in Lincoln Heights, but I went to Wilson High School. My brother dropped out at the 12th grade last semester. Last semester, he just walked out of campus and said, I ended up going back. He ended up going to East LA Occupational Center, right down the street. Took his classes, got a GED, was a successful business owner for over 15 years and smog technician. He's now working for the Air Resources Board, checking cars, CO2, oxygen sensors, all the stuff that I have no idea what he's doing. But the most important thing is that if it was not for adult education, he would not be where he's at. He would not have finished school. He would not have had a career with the state. He would not have opened his own business. This is what adult education does for us and for our communities. This is the most important thing that happens for us. Because for us, again, this is not the fun high school that we see on TV and in the movies. It's tough. We have different issues that happen when we're going there. We need, Evans has 30,000 students learning English to help their kids who are going to school, helping them with their lessons. What more can you do as a parent if you cannot even help your own kids? So that is one thing that is most important. Not only is to do this, but it allows you to continue with your life. Because as an adult, for adult education, people who did not do well or do not want to do school, it's not because they can't do well. It's because there's not a connection. There is not a connection in the school for whatever reason. And as you know, now that some of us are adults, there's a lot of issues when we're younger. And one teacher gives us a, bad eye, we're out. We're out. We don't need that. We learn later that we got to do that. And without this this service, without this adult education, we're not going to be able to continue doing what we need to do, and that is to educate our community. We need to look at a couple things. In the next 20 years, the population of people 65 and over is going to double in this state. We're at 2.1 million people that are over 65 right now. We're going to have 4.2 million people. What does that mean? Who's going to backfill those jobs? Who's going to backfill those jobs as people leave? In the next 10 years, every job is going to, 68% of the jobs in the state are going to require 4-year education. How do we do this if we stop dropping education as not a priority? When we talk about jobs, it's linked hand in hand with education. And education has to be across the board. We have to have community colleges. We have to have adult education. We have to have some vocational training. Remember, when I talked about my brother, the classes, the schooling, the education, your cars are no longer, when you open it up, you can't put your hand in there, okay? It's not like the old days. It can't be like you fix a carburetor. You need to know how to look at computers. You need to know how to analyze what's inside that car. It is not the backyard Dio so-and-so that works on the mechanic shop is going to help you. You need to have that education in order to move forward to do the most simplest jobs. And the only access for us is adult education. And if we don't have adult education, then we have to go to a private school. And what that means with this cut in education, it means that we are no longer allowing for public education. We're trying to privatize education, so only those that have the wherewithal, those that have the money, are going to be able to do what they need to do, and that's going to school. And we need to have public free access to education, and that's why we need to restore adult education now. 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 Thank you guys. Let's do this. We can do it again. We need this. We need all these programs to go. Thank you so much. Vera?
The momentum going.
But I gotta tell you, it breaks my heart to know that we are in this place. Now, it's not about pointing fingers. We know we're in a world crisis, a national crisis, a state crisis, but the fact is, the decisions we're making, I believe, are wrong. We should not be taking away education opportunities from our youth, high schoolers, people in college, and people in adult education, and that's what this is about. So I'm going to thank Marisol Salguero, my office, Jose Gardea, my chief of staff, because I wanted to make sure we paid for the stage and the chairs and the equipment here, because I want to make sure we have a place to express ourselves. Now, we need to take the steps that allows for us to let the state officials, our governor, know that the more they take away from us, the deeper in the hole we will be. The fact is, without a labor force, without an educated labor force, our economy will not improve. And why they are so short-sighted, I don't understand. You got billboards that are indicating 39% of our high school students are not graduating in California. 39%. In my district, I have the largest number of adult education facilities in the city concentrated in one district. Of all the high schools, Evans Adult School, you got tremendous facilities here. Places where people want to redefine themselves, have a future, and it's being taken away. And we need to figure out a way to stop this. So this park should be filled with people, and it's not. So many of you are the leaders, and we need to build up this momentum. And we need to inspire those who really don't see the detrimental effects of these actions. Now, a few weeks ago, working with my staff, we put together a resolution. And we're asking the city and we're directing the city to look at our city resources to break these silos between city government and state government. Because in the general public, we're all the same. Government is government, but jurisdictions, bureaucracies create their own universe that separates our ability to leverage each other. And we have to break that mindset. That has to be broken. So we're asking Community Development Department, we're asking the different departments to look at their resources, look at their facilities, and how is it that we couple and work with the school district so that we do not have to take these kinds of cuts. We cannot afford this mindset of working in silos in government. We cannot afford it anymore. Things have to change because the world is changing. Now, we hear the gunshots at night. We hear the sirens at night. We know where our kids are, and sometimes we don't know where they're at. It's when we don't know is when we're in trouble. Now, as adults seeking to find a new way to define ourselves through skill development, how can we face our kids when we know ourselves we're struggling to redefine ourselves? So they're taking away 2 golden opportunities to make change. If they take away these classes and if they take away these skill development opportunities. So when I'm at chamber meetings, when I'm at meetings where you have business investment districts, these are property owners who see the kids outside hanging out, who are looking at folks who are so desperate. We see our veterans out there begging to say, just to have something to eat that day. Councilman, what are you doing about this? The most I can say at that moment is, it's not my jurisdiction. But that's not the right thing to say, but that's the hard reality. The city has its world of influence, and the state has theirs. What the state is doing, I believe, is wrong. What the city needs to do is change its posture and how it works with the state. The governor has been pushing down and been very generous in giving us all the problems at the local government level. His mindset is, we're going to solve the state budget crisis by giving all the problems down to the county and the city. At the same time, they're taking away our money. They just raided my district over $38 million in CRA funds when they cut the CRA from the 1st District. That's money for housing, that's money for education, that's money for job development. These are real programs and places that the mainstream business does not see as desirable to invest. I believe that is wrong, because the CRA existed to create a field when you have these giant voids and raising these funds to build these developments. Granted, it's not perfect. I'm not saying CRA is a solution, but it was a toolbox we can work with, and we need to rebuild that in our own way within local jurisdiction. So without getting into too much detail, I just want to tell you folks that this has to be the beginning of a movement. We need to start looking at our state officials and our governor and make them accountable for their decisions. And we need to look at ourselves here at the city level and the county level and really redefine how we behave as government so that we can create these opportunities. We have an amazing city. We have the largest population of Mexicanos out of Mexico City here in this city. We have the largest number of Koreans here in the city out of Seoul, Korea. We have the largest number of Filipinos here in the city outside of the Philippines. I can go down the list. What does that say? It says that we have an umbilical cord that connects us to the international economy. So why can't we have that connection mean something to us like jobs? Why can't we educate ourselves in a way we have more than 1 or 2 languages? Our cultures reflect that. Our city reflects that. And we're missing the target. So let's continue working together. I look forward to working with you. I'm going to be pushing hard to make sure that the city is responsive to these needs, but we can't allow this to happen. We need real presence from the community. And that's why I thank you, the leadership from adult school education, those of you who have gotten up in this gray morning to set this up, to be part of this movement, And we got to knock on doors, we got to educate people and let them know what's at stake. So again, thank you so much. Have a great day. I look forward to continuing working with you.
$1 lottery, and the school will get $100 million just from that lottery. That's enough almost to fund adult education and back to early childhood education at the same time. There's a couple students who have been students, and there's teachers here. The thing about this coalition is different than UCLA and anything else, is that we have students, parents, teachers, community, principals, administrators, everybody here at the same time doing the same thing, going to the same place. There's another person here, Richard Gonzalez. Where are you? He is a commander of District 6 of VFW, and he is a student in high school in adult education. I don't see him. He must have walked off. There's a couple other people. There are students here and have stories to tell that says that they wouldn't be what they are today if they hadn't had the adult education. One, David, go.
Members of society. Maybe it's a day that they're in my class, maybe they're in my class for the whole time, they get a certificate and it's good. We need to maintain that. That's essential. If we're working, then we're happy. If we're working, we're productive. If we're working and people can come to us for a very low-cost education, it supports our community. It's all about your neighbors, it's all about our friends, it's about the people you don't know that you'll have value for. I could go on and on. My last point is that this fight is not about dollars. It's a political fight. There is enough money in the system. It's just a matter of priorities. Do they want to make it for adult education? They might say, oh, well, we need it for the kindergarten through 12th graders. Of course we do. Of course we need money for kindergarten through 12th graders. And we need money for adults. Just like somebody was mentioning before, you hear something going on in the world, and you know it's going to come here. In the 1990s, there was political upheaval in Russia. And guess what? All those Russians came to Hollywood, they came into our adult schools, they went through our school systems, they came out of it, they went to colleges, they went to universities, they continued for their professional careers. I met real Russian rocket scientists. That's crazy. But that's what happens. Every time you see an event happen around the world, they're gonna come here. We need to make our community vibrant, understanding, intelligent. Whether it was Vietnamese boat people in the 70s, whether it was Russians in the 90s, whether it's Syrians that they're fleeing Syria right now because they're being bombed, they may come here. In some years in the future, you may see a little Damascus sign. And you should remember this day, because they're going to come through our adult education centers. They didn't come here as children, go through kindergarten through 12th grade. They're coming here as adults. They need to be educated as adults. We need to have adult education just as much as we need to have K through 12. We need both. The issue is political. It's not that there isn't enough money, it's that they don't have the right priority. There's plenty of money. They just need to make this a priority. I want you to remember Monica Garcia. She's the head of the school board. She needs to be voted down next year, because she's not helping your community. Her district stretches from here all the way across to Koreatown. She doesn't understand her community, she doesn't understand adult education, and that's a tragedy. That's an absolute tragedy. We need to make sure that gets changed. All right, I'll let us go on to our next event. Thank you everybody for coming.
We have Ernest. Hi, good morning. Well, it's good afternoon now.
Good morning to everybody.
I don't want to take your time up talking. You know what the issue is? We need adult education in this community. And what we need the people who live here to do, if we're going to continue to offer job training and English to the people who live in East Los, we need you to call Monica Garcia, the school board representative who represents this community, and tell her to change her vote and vote to fund adult education. That's the only message I have. That's what we need to do. That's what we need you to do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, se puede. Se puede. Se puede. Come on, let me hear you. Se puede. You know, it's good to be back here in my old neighborhood. I graduated from Lincoln High School in 1968, the year of the famous walkouts. However, it is worse now than it was in 1968. It's worse. The dropout rate, the test scores, it's worse. The overcrowding, the guns on campus. We never had shootings. We never had weapons at Lincoln High School. Now you have metal detectors. You have these dogs sniffing students and so forth. You have school police with uniforms. And we have a huge, huge immigrant community. We didn't have that. I went to Griffin Avenue Elementary School down the street. I lived on Johnston. I lived on Sitchell. I didn't know why we were moving so much, but it's because now I understand we didn't have the money. But anyhow, I'm here to let you know that we have to recall Monica Garcia. You know, they want to cut 9,500 teachers. They have cut 8,000 teachers in the last 4 years. Okay? So we really have to recall Monica Garcia. Monica Garcia es una vendida. Monica Garcia es una chicana falsa. Monica Garcia es una hipócrita. Monica Garcia, I belong to the Full Rights for Immigrants Coalition with Juan Jose Gutierrez. We've had the biggest march para una reforma migratoria. Monica Garcia has never marched with us. We've had about 15 marches. She has never marched for us. Monica Garcia es la muerte. Es la muerte. Okay? She is backed by corporations. They have these fools on the school board. They're backed by corporations. They're controlled by corporations and billionaires. When I ran for the school board, Monica Garcia supported Luis Sanchez. Luis Sanchez was for charter schools and privatization. He's for the billionaires. The one, you know who Monica Garcia's boss is? Is Antonio Villaraigosa, better known as Tony Rapp. He's her boss. Also, Bill Gates. They want to get these schools, and they want to have what they call visual learning. They want to eliminate teachers. They're attacking the teachers' unions, the corporations. Right now, the whole country's all screwed up because of the greed. Okay? Pero ya basta. Ya basta. This community, our communities, are tired of racism. We're tired of discrimination. We're tired of not having a driver's license. We're tired of our kids being abused at schools like Miramonte. We're tired of that. Okay, ya basta with that. What we need is quality education, and we need the community. We need the Heights. Lincoln Heights has to get involved. Okay, we got to get involved here. The Heights is very important. Lincoln High School is very important. One of the things that we're also struggling for is the mayor controls Roosevelt High School. And Monica, that's one of Monica's schools. So what's going on with Roosevelt High School? You know what the stupid asses did at Roosevelt High School? Roosevelt High School was one, I taught at Roosevelt for 24 years, okay, so I know what I'm talking about. Roosevelt High School now is broken into 7 schools. That's how stupid they are. And the 7 schools, instead of one dysfunctional school, now you have 7. There's 7 schools now that are screwed up, and they're each independent. They don't know what each of the schools are doing. The scores that they take these tests every May, right? So the scores came out. Garfield High School has scored about 100 points over Roosevelt High School, and it's controlled by the teachers and the community in this one school. Roosevelt is 7, controlled by the mayor. All their schools their scores have gone down. They've eliminated auto shop, culinary arts, wood shop, electives, AP classes. They're eliminating at one school Spanish. They want to keep French. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. So we want Monica to dump the partnership. I'm with a group called Ya Basta. I'm also with the Full Rights, thank you, with the Full Rights for Immigrants Coalition. I was with UTLA. I told you I ran for the school board. But at any rate, we need your support. Call Monica. Call Wisar too. Wisar's slick. He's Slick Willie. He was at the demo we had yesterday. He's slick. Monica's chief, Wisar's chief of staff was Monica Garcia. Wisar supported Luis Sanchez. Monica supported Luis Sanchez, pro-charter, pro-privatization. The school at Mendez, to alleviate the overcrowding at Roosevelt, is also taken over by the mayor, and the parents and the teachers never voted. But at any rate, you know, keep on struggling. Ya basta. Y si se puede. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you for being here this beautiful afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos ustedes. ¿Cómo estamos? ¿Cómo estamos? Eso es lo que se necesita que escuchen nuestros representantes aquí en Los Ángeles, que se escuche nuestra voz, que se escuche nuestro sentir, que se escuche nuestro manifestar de que no vamos a permitir que nos quiten la educación de adultos. Si la educación de adultos dice adultos, adultos abarca todos, ¿o no es así? Sí, claro que sí. Una de las cosas bien importantes es cómo se va a hacer esto. ¿Ustedes cómo creen que se vaya a hacer esto? Por medio del voto. ¿Cuántos de aquí podemos votar? El booth para registrarse para votar, porque necesitamos sus votos, está de qué lado. A ver, echen un grito los del booth. Allá están. Bueno, mi nombre es Epigmenio Ponce, me llaman Manuel. Yo vengo de la escuela Roosevelt, soy el presidente de los estudiantes y estoy aquí este día en support a este rally que se está haciendo para el recall de Mónica García, la persona encargada de querer cerrar nuestras escuelas. Estoy aquí para decirle en nombre de mi escuela, que vienen siendo 5 escuelas juntas, Roosevelt, Garfield, ISA, Raful y Plaza del Sol. Esas 5 escuelas vamos a empezar a trabajar en conjunto. ¿Para qué? Para juntar votos, para empezar a enrolar a las personas que se inscriban para votar. Por ejemplo, yo no puedo votar, pero yo tengo a mis sobrinos que sí pueden votar. Tengo a mis hermanos que sí pueden votar. Tengo a mis amigos que sí pueden votar, porque gracias a ellos este país se ha ido para adelante. Gracias a nosotros este país está sacando adelante la economía. Gracias a nosotros, porque cuando entramos a una tienda te preguntan si tienes o no tienes ID. No te preguntan, simplemente ¿qué pasa? Te cobran el tax. ¿Para dónde se va el tax? Se va para el Estado, se va para que mande el dinero para que ellos lo manden y lo distribuyan ¿a qué? A las escuelas educativas. ¿Por qué? Porque es un derecho como ciudadano de esta ciudad de Los Ángeles, porque no vivo en China, no vivo en otra parte, vivo aquí, pago aquí, mi renta se paga aquí, mis cheques se van en las tiendas, tus cheques también se van ahí. Por eso tenemos derecho a exigir que no se corten los servicios de educación adulta. Gracias a estos servicios, I can speak English today. Not so good, but I'm still working. I'm on the way. I want to learn English. I want to speak English. You know why? Because I live in this beautiful country. And what is the language? English. English es lo que quiero hablar. Inglés, ¿por qué? Porque me quiero incorporar al 100% a esta hermosa nación. A esta nación que se llama el país de las oportunidades, el país de los sueños. Mi maestra dijo, traigan esto. ¿Para qué? Por si tu voz no se escucha, que se oiga el sonido, que se oiga lo que tú vas a hacer. ¿Por qué? Porque necesitamos mandarles un mensaje bien fuerte a nuestros senadores, a nuestros representantes y, si es posible, a nuestro presidente Barack Obama, a nuestro gobernador también, que pongan ojo, que pongan atención. Si quieren quitar la educación, ¿cómo va a salir adelante este país? Este país está bildeado de puras personas profesionales, maestros, arquitectos, licenciados, senadores, presidentes, de todo está bildeado. ¿Por qué? Porque han estudiado. El señor Antonio Villarraigosa, que es nuestro alcalde, él se graduó de nuestra escuela, del programa de adultos. Él tiene que poner orden también en esto. ¿Cómo no? Porque si no hubiera sido por este programa, a lo mejor él no hubiera llegado a ser la persona que es ahora. Y esas personas han llegado al poder, ¿por qué? Por sus votos. Así que, por favor, trabajemos juntos. Trabajemos por una mejor educación. Trabajemos por un mejor futuro. Trabajemos por este hermoso país, los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica, que ahora es nuestro país. ¿Por qué? Porque aquí vivimos. En mi escuela vamos a empezar un programa, yo como el presidente, a empezar a recaudar las firmas que se necesitan, las registraciones de los votos. Vamos a empezar a mover a nuestra gente, a nuestra comunidad, porque necesitamos más o menos como 26,000 votos para poder sacar a Mónica García. ¿Cómo? Todas las personas que vivimos aquí, regístrense, las personas que puedan votar. Ustedes son el correo del pueblo, ustedes son las personas que son las capaces para poder detener esto, porque no solamente han recortado los programas de escuelas de sus hijos, ahora quieren recortar los programas de adultos. ¿Cómo va a ser posible eso? ¿Cómo ellos quieren que esta hermosa nación siga saliendo adelante si nos quieren cortar las alas? Uno de mis sueños es ganarme el del ESL, agarrar el GD. ¿Por qué? Muy fácil, porque tengo sueños. Mi sueño es ir al colegio, mi sueño es ser alguien que pueda servirle a este país. ¿Y cómo lo voy a hacer? Por medio de la educación. Claro que sí, ¿cuántos de ustedes no? ¿Ah? A ver, vamos a dar un grito. 1, 2, 3. ¿Se puede? Martin Luther King dijo una vez, I have a dream. César Chávez dijo, la educación te hará libre. Y hoy, este día, 31 de marzo, siendo las 2 de la tarde con 5 minutos, yo te digo, caminemos juntos. Porque si caminamos juntos, ¿quién va a poder contra nosotros? Nadie, porque nosotros hacemos la fuerza, porque nosotros somos las personas que vivimos en esta ciudad. No van a venir de otras ciudades a decir no, nosotros somos los encargados como personas. Tenemos la obligación de velar por nuestra educación. Les pedimos el support a todas las comunidades. Les pedimos, por favor, que como ser humano pongas tu granito de arena, porque de granito en granito la playa está hermosa, y esa playa es esta hermosa ciudad de Los Ángeles, California. Para despedirme, quiero agradecerle a mis compañeros, a los maestros que vinieron de mi escuela, y de nuevo, thank you very much, every one of you, for being here. ¿Se imaginan? Yo no hubiera podido haber dicho esto si no hubiera ido a la escuela. I'm still working, having a blessing day, and may God bless you all the time. Thank you very much.
United Teachers Los Angeles, My committee represents the adult education teachers in Los Angeles and LAUSD. And we're appalled at the shame of the LAUSD school board for trying to cut adult education after over 100 years of serving the public, out of being a pathway to opportunity for people, letting people study hard to follow their dreams for a better life, who come to school after work or before work to learn English so they can get a better job for themselves and their family, so they can get into job training. So if they make a mistake and drop out of school at 16, they don't have to spend a lifetime of low wages. They can go back. There's a place where they can go back and work hard. And does better jobs and better paychecks. That's not just for adult ed students. That's for everybody. That's for the economy of the community. I don't think the economy of this community or any other is helped by a new factory in China or Wall Street profits. This community, the economy of this community is helped with better paychecks, plain and simple. And adult education helps people get better paychecks and a better life through the hard work, through education. I have nothing but respect for my students and adult ed students who try to improve themselves and work for a better life for themselves and their family. I'm amazed, I'm shocked that school board members don't understand that. In particular, there's one school board member, Monica Garcia, who grew up in East LA and represents East LA, Chinatown, and Koreatown, and doesn't seem to understand the needs of immigrants, who seems to put first her priority, her career, over the career trains of hundreds of thousands. It's shocking, it's appalling. We need adult education. I know we're in hard economic times. My school, Evans, it was founded, it was started during the Great Depression, even worse times than now. But they knew then there would be a tomorrow, and they want to invest in it. But Monica Garcia doesn't understand that. Recently, LAUSD got an extra $180 million from the state of California for transportation funds. How much did they put into adult education of that? Zero. They're playing games, they're hoping adult ed fights with their union, their community, fights with Jerry Brown. No, we elected these board members to do a job. They represent you. Do you feel that Monica Garcia is representing you now? No! We need someone that understands your needs, that respects you, and will represent you. Her next election is coming up in March. Now, if you can vote, vote against her. If you cannot vote, work against her campaign. You need to be empowered and represent yourself for coming here. She's going to learn. She thought that no one cares about adult education. She's wrong. She's wrong. We organized a petition drive to support adult education. We got over 200,000 signatures in 2 weeks. That's 6,000 for every hour of the day, 24 hours a day, 6,000 every hour. That's how deep our support is. That's how many people understand. Why can't Monica Garcia understand that? We're up to over 20 neighborhood councils did resolutions in support of adult ed. We've sent thousands of letters to politicians in support. And many of them do support us. It was Mr. Reyes here, I'm told earlier. He's a leader who understands where the community leads. On Thursday, our big rally, we had Jose Huizar and board member Kaiser. They understand that we need adult ed. Why can't Monica Garcia understand that? No, there's going to be a change. This community is empowered. They're not going to take no for an answer. We're going to have adult ed. The fight's going to continue. Thank you very much.
Any questions for Mr. Colgan before he leaves? Please step up if you have any questions. Any students, administrators, teachers, community members, anybody? Anybody have any questions for him? Step up to the mic.
Come on,
Legally? Without foul play, yes. A lot of the signs say recall, and we think that's a great sign, and that gets the message across. Let me talk about recall, because I think that's what you're asking about first. It is two factors, time and money, as usual. We're relatively close to our election. Now, when you do a recall, which she deserves to be recalled, you're also running an election. Someone has to run against her at the same time. That's okay. But then a campaign has to be funded at the same time. And if they won, then they'd have to run again in March. The problem with that is it a bit plays into her strength. Monica Garcia has big money backing. I didn't talk about that. You know, why doesn't she care about the community? Because she's got a lot of money behind her. Developer Eli Broad, Bill Gates from Washington State, Philip Anschutz, who built the LA Live. This thing's loud. LA Live. So she's got all this money behind her. So if we had to run twice, it would put us at a disadvantage. I would love to be able to have a vote on her tomorrow. But we're going to gear up and focus on March. It's a rough thing to say because our fate's decided first. So I don't say that. I wish I could say the other way around. I can't tell you how much I wish I could say the other way around. Then let's start that recall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this on? Oh, yeah, it is on.
It's really loud.
I've never used a microphone. Okay. I have a quick question. I keep hearing that Bennett Kaiser is for us.
Yes.
Didn't he just vote against adult education?
No, I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it a vote against adult education. I'd like to make it very clear that our best friend on the school board is Bennett Kaiser and his staff. They're very helpful with advice and support in many ways. So I want unambiguously, I feel that Bennett Kaiser is in support. He spoke at our rally. I think they felt that was like a procedural vote a little bit, that it was to keep it moving. We're told, we were advised from the beginning that they're going to vote for a balanced budget and the negotiations are going to go on and on. What happens is the district, they get money and they budget it here and there. They can't hide money, so what they do is they kind of hide it in plain sight. They put extra money into buying books and extra money into their workers' comp fund, much more than they need, and then say we're broke and we have to lay off teachers or give out layoff notices. So they've, besides all the adult ed teachers, it's 9,000 other teachers. So it's 25% of all the teachers got layoff notices. And they're hoping to kind of undermine the union and work towards their goals. So that's not a super clear answer, but it's not a super clear situation. But I kind of want to say Bennett Kaiser is with us. That I can tell you. I feel that in my heart.
Yeah, Matthew, I was very surprised Thursday when Jose Huizar, our councilman, spoke in support of adult school, adult ed. So I think that was very positive.
Yes.
However, I don't think Huizar is going to go to the school board and make the same speech. So I would want you to at least encourage him to do something, because I think it's a lot of talk. And let me tell you why. Because Jose Huizar, when he was president of the LA Unified School District Board of Education, Monica Garcia was his chief of staff. I think you know that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The other thing, Monica Garcia also supported Luis Sanchez, who's pro-charter and privatization. Okay? Jose Huizar also supported Luis Sanchez. Not only that, but at Roosevelt High School, which is Monica's school, it's a complete disaster because Antonio Viragosa, his partnership, took it over for 5 years. The scores are very, very low. As a matter of fact, Garfield High School, which is only one school, has only one principal, has API of 707 and Roosevelt High School, their 6 schools out of the 7 are about 521 to about 600, 637. So what I'm telling you is, in terms of Huizar, you got to watch him, because Huizar also, he was responsible for Mendez, the learning center right there. Mendez was also a partnership school under Antonio Viragosa, and the parents and the teachers did not vote. So I'm just telling you, encourage Mr. Huizar.
Let me speak about that. So no one on the city council should be more against us in a way than Jose Huizar. Monica Garcia, where'd she come? Is chief of staff. So I'm looking at the other way around. I'm looking at, I think we've done a really good job of getting in the news, getting students interviewed on the news, getting on the radio, making our pressure known. And if Jose Huizar, he was at the rally, I don't know who was there, he was giving a speech. I mean, in sign after sign, he's staring at a recall Monica. He knew. I like to think of it as he's seen the writing on the wall, that this is a sucker move. I mean, quite frankly, if Zimmerman on the west side doesn't understand adult ed, shame on him. And I'm not sure he does. But for Monica not to do it, look at her district, it's suicide. I mean, I think people aren't even aware of their school board members' name. Many people didn't know who's your school board member. Now a lot of people know, and a lot of people care passionately. And I like to think that, when Jose Huizar says, he wants to support us, great. He did, I'm 90% sure he wrote a letter to the school board in our defense. So, to be honest with you, Dr. John Fernandez, great activist for teachers and students.
Thank you.
It's a good surprise. And we have been successful at getting a lot of support from other politicians, and we're going to keep it up. And until otherwise, I know what you're saying. We're going to call him, since he's doing the right thing, we're going to call Mr. Huizar a great friend of adult ed, and we hope he sees the light forever. Next question. All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to be around a while if you have any other questions.
Dizzy Daisy, keep hiring consultants. They just hired a web designer, designed something at $93,000.
Social media
consultant. Why is that continuing whenever all these teachers receive pink slips and he continues to hire?
He's out of touch. His agenda is not your agenda. He's again. It sounds kind of conspiratorial, but there are extremely rich backers of school reform that have simple, straightforward goals. Education should be like a business. We're going to do standardized testing, and from Washington, D.C., we'll hire and fire by those test results. So he sees these bureaucrats as going down that. Everything you can see is almost that simple. He's answering to somebody else. Some of the people working down there, they say it's okay to hire them. They're being paid by other billionaires. So they're not accountable to you. I don't care who's paying for them. And also, they're paying for part of their salary now. Who's paying their health care? And who's going to pay for them next year? So they slip them in there through the influence of others. But it's really coming to a head with like the Occupy movement, with that 1% gaining more and more wealth. I can honestly say, there's almost nowhere where they're flexing their muscle and trying to put more influence than education. And it's very frightening. And as Dr. John Fernandez says, like the mayor decided to put his hand in schools, think it would be easy. His schools their test scores are going down. So their agenda, let me just say it again in another way, their agenda is not your agenda. Everyone in a workplace knows their job's important. The problem is that the superintendent thinks people that help him are the most important. He has to understand where the rubber meets the road in education, and that's in the classroom. He's there to help me. He's there to help you, and he's forgotten that. And so he's hiring people that help him. So when we get rid of Monica, we'll be getting rid of Daisy also. This is so unfair. Don't let them forget, we're 2% of the budget. Why would they need to end a 100-year program that's only 2%? Can't that give us 1%, a little bit from the others, to keep something that was there before his grandfather was born? And why does this community, immigrant communities, Latino communities, why do programs so important to them have to take such a giant hit? Why? It's unfair. Why does adult ed get pushed around? Because until now, we weren't organized. We've had a small group, United Adult Students, that's now big because of the crisis, and they've just kind of matured in their own. But there had been more advocates for homeless people than there were for adult education. And so that, look, we're all the time fighting back. They need some space. Let's take away an adult school. We need money. Let's grab it here. So for my union, the Adult Education Committee, we're always fighting. We fight for our supper every night. We don't get anywhere without fighting. And so when this crisis came, we were a little bit more ready to organize a campaign than other parts of the union were. All right.
What's going to happen to all our adults? And I'm also saying young adults that are out there recovering credits. But ¿qué va a pasar con todos ustedes? ¿Dónde van a ir a la escuela? ¿Qué va a pasar con ustedes? Where do they go? What's going to happen?
There is no plan. Don't let them tell you they have a plan. They have they'll mumble something under their breath about community college or for-profit. We have plenty of for-profit adult education. Watch TV in the daytime. There's plenty of schools. They are rip-offs.
They are.
They make you sign the dotted line for $20,000. And if you go to one-day class, you're on the hook the whole time. The federal and state government's on the money. It's a rip-off because they're well-connected. So there is no plan. All I can tell you now is that we're having an effect. The community, United Adult Students, United Adult Teachers, we're having an effect. We're moving in the right direction. But I want to be completely honest. We're not there yet. We are still in a danger zone. What they're offering now about 10 sites and whatever, that's just a beginning thing. Don't get too freaked out. But just know, we're not there yet. They're saying 300 teachers for the whole city. And most of that's going to be high school kids. They're really getting rid of adult ed. We have more push to go. Questions?
I was wondering what else we can do to work together so we can keep our schools open. We were collecting signatures, but I think that's a lot of stuff more that we can do about it. I don't know if you have any suggestion?
Yes. Representing the teachers, we have to have plan on top of plan. So when we started out, we knew there was a spectrum, many things we could do. And at first we had to a little bit stop everyone doing something different. Our power is in our unity. Our power is in our unity of action. So we started with the petition because that would get, everyone could work and everyone could start talking. And we also reached out to statewide people. And as we go on, we're going to change. One thing some of the things similar. We're going to do protests, but in a new way, not at the school board as we did on Thursday in East LA. The next one we're deciding either the Valley or at LA Live or in Koreatown. We haven't decided because it seems that our students like rallies. We'd also like to lobby, but in a little bit different way. Not everyone calling every politician because I think it'll have declining effect and we're running out of money for stamps and such and phone calls. We'll probably continue some politicians, but start using lobbying in other ways. We would like people to start calling every radio station and call-in TV show. There's a huge crisis. They should be hearing about it every day. Anyone that has a call-in show, we can have students doing every day. We need strategies around our strengths, and we'll put pressure on them. We don't want to do something. We want to do something that's powerful. And one thing we have, do we have a lot of money? Do we have a lot of people?
Yes.
So we're going to do strategies around that. So we're going to try to do the call-in shows. We're also going to do freeway banners in front of the fence, I'm told is legal. We're investigating buying vinyl for that, so all over the city, working with community partners. We'll explore what...
Let them know, and I think we're willing to participate.
Out to Anita.
Okay, thank you.
The schools have been great. As an activist, these are good times. everyone's very gung-ho to get involved.
Hi, I have a question. Why is it that we only have the adult school teachers here? I think that every teacher should be here supporting, because if you divide, you conquer. So that's something that we need to take a look at. And I need some more teachers around here.
Well, the planning of this was a little less than ideal. We had our big rally on Thursday. We had, I don't know how many, 2,000 people and a lot of teachers. This was a little bit different activity, more community-based, reflecting the energies of our teachers and community to do more. We don't divide at all. Our strength is in unity. However, if we were to do, there's other groups being cut in LAUSD. If we do some activities like the rally before last at the school board was early education, SLRDP, librarians, art students. So we're with them in unity in some projects, but sometimes we need to focus on our program too. We need to talk to people and have time and to talk to the press about adult education. So we're doing both. And we do work, that's a UTLA question. The adult committee does have support of the rest of the union. Just a few nights ago on Wednesday, we needed more money. We were voted more money, I think unanimously in our House of Representatives.
Yeah, Matthew. Yeah, just one more announcement for the Heights here, Lincoln Heights and everybody else. On May the 1st, International Workers' Day, we are going to have a large march. It starts at 1 o'clock. Para una reforma migratoria, for workers' rights, for education, to save the adult schools. Also, we want everybody to be there. And also, we're planning with Occupy LA to shut down the whole city. A general strike, una huelga. No school, no work, nothing. So that's how you can support us, because all these ratero corporations, all these guys that are on the take, on the make, that's what's screwing up the whole country. That's what's screwing up the whole system. Congress, the city council, all the politicians, everybody's making money. Millions and millions. That's why they want to privatize education and everything else. You know how the Supreme Court said that the corporations were a person. That's a bunch of bullshit. So anyhow, nomás quiero decirles, invitarles, 1 de mayo, una marcha para una reforma migratoria y para los derechos de los obreros a la Olympic y Broadway a la Zuna. Ahí nos vemos.
One final word for students out there. You need your own student group on campus, working with teachers, but independent too, empowered too. We have a group, United Adult Students. They have meetings about once or twice a month on Saturdays. Make sure that you're finding out when those meetings are so representatives can go to meet citywide with student activists from other parts of the city. Student councils are good, but they're not the same as an independent group. All right, thank you very much.
First off, I want to thank everybody who's here. I want to thank that gentleman over there. Don't know his name. But yes, we are the 99%. And you know what? Give yourselves a round of applause. You know, I think all this, you know what? First off, second off, I'd like to say is that we are not going to lose. We're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going no matter what. You know, they could put all these roadblocks in front of us, but we're survivors. We make this happen. We make the world go round. And our voice does matter. Your voice, yours, every single person here does matter. You know, don't let them demoralize you. Don't let them tell you that you can't, because you can. And I know I have purple hair, but it's cool. Yeah. Adult education is very, very important. You're right. You're correct. It is. I mean, it's like, you know, we have all these programs that are not just good for the people, but that are also great for society, the progress of society. We have programs like solar panels, solar, green energy. Like, that to me is like you're giving homeboys, and we have homeboys here. I know we got homeboys here. I don't know if they're still here, but where's homeboy at? Homeboys? Oh, they just left it. Nah, but you know what? We got solar panels, electrical classes. We got, you know, these cosmetology. I'm a cosmetology student. And you know what? I feel like it has changed my life dramatically from what I used to be. You know, I grew up right there in the Estrada courts, in the projects, my whole life in poverty. And you know what? It kind of does mess with your psyche, or whatever, your mind. But you know, there's so many, that makes you stronger. It makes you so much stronger. All of us here, we're strong. And I feel like this, it's such a shame for them to take this away. But you know what? They won't. That's what I tell myself. Because all of us together, we're going to change it. We're going to change it for the positive, for the good. And you know, that's, I just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you.
What I want to say right now, that you guys are supporting us, you know, like I feel really shy to be in front of everybody, you know, but you know, I want to say this speech, you know, like thanks to support us a lot, you know. We need a lot of people to support, you know, all the programs that are in adult school. You know, because if we're united, you know, we can make the difference, and we don't gonna let us, you know, take away the programs, you know, because we need them, you know. We need adult education to show our kids, you know, that we can also, you know, have a better life. Thank you.
We get free haircuts at the Skill Center. Anybody who wants to go get their haircut for free, you know, it is free, but at the same time, we love tips, you know. So yeah, just come on down, and we're giving free hand massages over there at that booth. You guys saw it, where all the beautiful, pretty women are? Men? No? But yeah, just, you know, cosmetology, check it out. Right there at the Skill Center. Best days to go in are Wednesdays through Saturdays. So go for it. Gotta look clean for the weekend.
I am representing my school, Wilson Lincoln Adult Community Center. It's a shame what they're trying to do to us, trying to take away something so precious. It's a very precious investment into our community. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I started going to the school back in June. I'm receiving my, I'm taking computer courses there. I just received my Excel certificate, and I'm working on my Microsoft and PowerPoint. It's been challenging. I have been involved getting to know how to go about with this fight. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous, but I'm very passionate about my people. I'm Mexican American. My mother's Scottish and Cherokee Indian, and my father, he's Mexican and German. So my Spanish is really bad, but I'm not gonna give up. Like Manuel said, I'm gonna keep fighting for my education for all of us. I'm here with you guys, standing here. I love you all very much, and I pray every day for this movement, and I want to get educated. I'm more than welcome to give my information. I'm on Facebook. We got to stay together. Like Matthew Krogan said, like everybody said, we need to stay together and fight, because your problem is not just your problem alone. It's my problem too. It's all our problem. Okay, so we need to really, really stick together. We need to encourage everybody. I'm willing to go door to door. I'm willing to stand at Union Station, Staples Center if I have to. Whatever it takes, the strength that I have, that God has given me. I keep my faith, but I'm gonna do it. I'm standing here. I'm very thankful. 3 years ago, I got hit by a vehicle. I didn't think I was gonna live. I have hardware in my legs, but you know, God gave me a second chance, and I'm very thankful to Him for that. So, like I said, I'm willing to give my number. I'm on Facebook, Marianne Reyes. Just look me up. Thank you. Love you all.
Hand massage back there if you want to.